This is an absolutely crazy story. What's going on in this photo, and why did you do that?
Sure. This is actually a very important story. You know, you hear these people talk about how if you're going to succeed at anything, you have to become very familiar with losing. You almost got to learn to love it. And so as we set out on this journey to explore the Amazon and to build relationships with the indigenous people and to study anacondas and to find a way to protect this place, at around 24 years old, I got approached by Discovery Channel. And they said, "Kid, we've never seen one like you. Let's do a show where we take people into the Amazon rainforest and show them anacondas." And I said, "That'd be amazing." I said, "I would love to do that. I could teach people about the forest. Let's go." They said, "Great." The only thing is, they said, it's not a good enough show if we just show them the science that you're going to do. Because we wanted to use, as the apex predators of the ecosystem, they're, if there's mercury in the system, they're bioaccumulating. Any toxins that are in the Amazon, they're going to absorb. It's going to get into the fish and then into the caiman, into the birds, into the anacondas. They're the apex predator. We were doing groundbreaking research on anacondas. They said that wasn't good enough. They said, imagine if, they said, no one's, reticulated pythons have eaten people. They said, no one's ever had on record an anaconda eating a human. And I said, it happens. It happens. I know a few people whose grandmother or uncle was eaten by an anaconda. It happens, but it doesn't happen where no one's taking a picture of it. And so they said, well, if we make you a really expensive suit, will you get eaten by an anaconda? I said, I'll try. I said, it's not going to eat. Snakes are sweethearts. It's not going to try to eat me. And they said, but look, we'll call the show Expedition Amazon. Send you out there with a team of scientists. We'll film the whole thing. Long story short, I agreed to it because what I thought at the time was, I keep seeing forests getting burned. I keep seeing my millennium trees go down. All of those monkeys and birds and snakes and beautiful animals that are getting incinerated. And they're telling me all I got to do to get a TV show that'll reach millions of people and let me get that message out there. All I got to do is at the end do the silly stunt to show people that snakes aren't that bad. And so we filmed this show for 6 weeks.
You agreed to what?
I agreed to potentially be eaten by an anaconda.
Okay.
I mean, if it wanted to, I had a breathing tube and I had it theoretically could have eaten me, but I knew it wouldn't because I know snakes. But the producers were very, these are people that have never left the office building and have watched too many movies. And they wanted to see a guy get eaten by a snake.
And you volunteered?
Of course I'd volunteer. I would have cut off my foot to save the forest. I'll do anything to save the forest. And so when somebody gives you a chance like this, and it's funny, I actually spoke to Jane Goodall about this. I said, there's this chance I have. And I think I can navigate this in such a way that at the, we take people on an expedition through the Amazon, and at the end, I'll get in the pit in a special suit and I'll let the snake wrap around me and I'll show people that anacondas are really these, sweethearts. And she said, I don't think it's going to go well.
For anyone that doesn't know who Jane Goodall is.
Jane Goodall, the famous primatologist, the earth-shattering scientist who redefined humans from man the toolmaker to what we are now, the one who did more for conservation, wildlife, women, science than just about anybody else.
And she's also the person that quoted on the front of your book saying, on behalf of the forests that I love, thank you, Paul, for writing this book. Clearly, from reading through your story, she's quite a hero of yours and has been for a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, and going from when my parents were reading us, me and my sister, they'd be reading us stories at night. Jane Goodall and Gombe with the chimps, and how she didn't listen to the rules. She named them, even though her colleagues said, you never name your study subjects. And she said, they have names. They have personalities. They have names. She broke all the rules. And so I grew up with Jane as sort of this historical figure, but she was still like a living historical figure. And so then when I actually met her, it was so incredible because I met her at a talk that she had given. And this informed the rest of my life. The grace and wisdom that she showed changed me as a person. Because I met her at a talk that she was giving in New York City, and I had printed out a couple of chapters. I'd printed out one of the chapters that became my first book, where I'm taking care of a baby giant anteater. And I had printed out a chapter where me and JJ were looking for our first anaconda, this story. And I put those together with a little covered letter that's just said, hey, I love wildlife. I've been working in the Amazon for like 5 years, and you've always been an inspiration to me. If I write a book, Would you endorse it? And so I gave this to her in the manila envelope while there was a line of 500 people. And, you take the picture, and she said, "Thank you very much." She puts it aside. And I said, "All right, I tried my best." And 48 hours later, her team reached out and said Jane read the material. She read the chapters, and she thinks that they're wonderful. And if you find a publisher, let them know that Jane will endorse your book. And so then I went to the publishers and I said, "I have the endorsement of Jane Goodall." And they said, "Well, that's basically Mother Earth herself." And they said, so that's what got me in the door to become an author with my first book was Jane. She was this titan of conservation, this legendary figure. And her just, first of all, for someone that was on the road 300 days a year, that's an icon of science and conservation and hope. For her to have the presence of mind and the patience and the sense of responsibility to actually read something that some kid handed her, that's incredible. That's magic to me even to this day. And it matters to me, and it informs how I act even to this day. But without Jane sort of waving her wand in my direction, I would have no career. There'd be no Paul, no Jungle Keepers, no book. We wouldn't be sitting at this desk today. Jane Goodall saved my life.
She's an iconic scientist, as you say, known for her groundbreaking research on chimpanzees and her work generally and globally on conservation. So you decide that you're going to be eaten by an anaconda.
Oh yeah, that was a tangent, yes.
So is this a wild anaconda, or is this an anaconda held in captivity?
No.
How did you get the anaconda to eat you?
So let me see that next one on the picture.
This one?
Yeah. This is a snake called Eleanor, and we named her this after my dear grandmother, who was an incredible woman and the matriarch of our family. Now, Eleanor is the largest snake ever measured at the time, verifiably, scientifically measured. She was 18 feet 6 inches and over 100 kilos, and she was skinny. She hadn't eaten in a while. But imagine if she'd eaten a capybara, she would have been, 200 kilos. But my team caught her while we were filming this show. And again, we were told the show would be called Expedition Amazon. The call sheet said Expedition EA. Then when we were done doing our research in the Amazon, they said, look, fly to, I forget if it was like Kentucky or Louisiana. They said, fly to some state. There's a guy with a snake. No one will know the difference. We'll blur it out. And they said, do this little stunt. I said, we'll put it the last 5 minutes of the show, just to show people, and then we'll hype it up in the news. They're like, we got you. A lot of handshakes, right? And the day before I was supposed to go on the Good Morning America show with Mr. Matt Lauer, who got mad at me for doing push-ups on the set. The day before I was supposed to go on the show, I'm a kid, and I'm going, I think we got it. I think we did it. We caught the biggest snake ever. The footage of us catching that snake is insane. We're all jumping in the river and wrestling this kraken, and we catch the snake, and we learned from her. It sounds crazy, but we were developing field methodology for studying the species. And we learned all kinds of things about anacondas because we fed her a transmitter, and we learned how she moves through the environment. This is research that had never been done before. For
context, feeding her a transmitter is putting an electrical device basically in her throat that she eats, she consumes, and it stays with her till she dies, so you can see what she's doing.
It stays with her until she defecates it, which for snakes, that thankfully is months.
Okay.
And so we're doing this groundbreaking research. We caught this tremendous snake. We'd survived a 6-week expedition in the Amazon. We had all this incredible footage. And the night before I'm supposed to go out on the morning shows, they showed me the film. It had none of the science. It had none of the conservation message that I was promised would be in the show. And instead they focused on the stunt at the end, and they changed the name of the show to Eaten Alive. And then they sent me out the door to do the shows. And the public was mad because I didn't actually get eaten, and they felt like they were lied to. PETA was mad because they felt like I had put a snake's life in danger somehow. The animal rights people were furious. And then the scientists were mad because they said, okay, you're just a shock person. You're just in this for the thrill, and you're not really a conservationist. So put me out of work for years.
Really?
Yes, it set me back about 10 years.
Really?
I took a big swing because I thought it would help my forest. And I hit my head on the ceiling and fell down hard. The next day, the news, all of the late night shows were making fun of it. Jimmy Kimmel was like, for your next stunt, you should try having sex with a hippo. The comments were just I went to India and lived with a herd of elephants for a while. I mean, I had to get out. I literally couldn't. I said, my dream of being a conservationist is over. I was told by one prominent conservationist not even to come to South America. And again, the thing you have to remember through all of this is through the barefoot machete days, through going to the Amazon, the first 15 years of my 20-year journey, I had no support. So I was living out of a backpack, living out of a boat in the Amazon, barefoot, with no paycheck, no health insurance, no security, no pathway forward. So it was very uncertain times. You know, that you actually, I think it may have been on your show. There's this great quote where I think it was Alex Hormozy was saying that confidence comes from giving people irrefutable proof that you are who you say you are. And when I heard that quote, I thought, that's great. And then the next thing I thought was, well, but you have to start building that proof in a direction. And for a lot of people, I think they find themselves standing on a high hill looking at a set of mountains, and you have to choose which direction you're going in. And for me, I was a high school dropout who was never going to be a conservation biologist. And I was trained by the local people and sort of adopted by their tribe. And so I knew how to survive in the jungle and work with snakes and do all these crazy things. And I tried to take that message to television, and I got Hollywooded hard. I got lied to and I got taken for a ride. But that failure ended up being the best thing that ever happened, because what it did was it sent me right back to the drawing board. It said, you're not ready yet. And so sometimes the things that you want are not the things that you need. And it's this beautiful thing where life sort of moves aside. It says, I know you want that, but I'm going to give you what you need, not what you want. And so this was a case where I took it hard. I mean, at the time, it was a devastating loss. And it was the best thing that ever happened, because it was the slap on the head that sent me back out into the jungle for years and years and years of more experience. Double down. What do you really care about? Saving the forest. Well, if you care about saving the forest, how the hell are you going to do that? And we had to develop a system to do that. We had to develop a new technology as a way to save the forest.
What actually happened here? So I know you don't want to, it sounds like you don't want to talk about it.
It's just wasted airtime to talk about it, because we rolled around in the mud with a 16-foot anaconda and nothing happened.
A lot of people will probably want to know why nothing happened, and I think part of that is because of what you're wearing.
No, the reason nothing happened is because they had snake handlers wrapping the snake around me while I was in this ridiculous suit. I mean, the things I will do to protect this forest, that snake, if it was left on its own, would crawl off. Any snake would if I had a black mamba in my hands right now and I put it on this table, it would slide off the table and find the darkest spot in the room and it would go hide. If I had a spitting cobra, same thing. No snake wants to deal with you. They just want to go hide. They want to go back to sleep.
Most people are terrified of snakes.
Most people are terrified of snakes, and that's why I think you're going to like what I have for you.
What do you mean?
I brought a friend today.
You brought a friend?
I did bring a friend, and I want you to meet him. Now this is a very, very small ball python. This is a baby. And one of the first things I try to impress upon people when they meet a baby snake is remembering that even if you're scared of snakes, you're the large apex predator. And this is just a tiny little reptile that is all alone in the world. They're born and they have to fend for themselves. And for some reason, ever since I was a little kid, I was fascinated with snakes. I thought they were beautiful. I loved the way they moved. I thought the way they can hold up their bodies and flick their tongues. I find snakes calming and beautiful and fascinating.
Is that snake dangerous?
You could hand this snake to a baby. This snake is so harmless. I mean, the worst thing that this snake could do, if I was to, let's just say, pinch her and hurt her, she could bite me, but even that would barely break my skin. This is a snake that's going to look for baby mice, little birds, maybe a frog, and try and grow to a larger size. Now, have you ever held a snake before?
No.
You've never held a snake?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Well, this is such an easy one to start with, and I'll give you a few pointers.
My hands are sweating a little bit.
So a few things is that even a baby snake is going to interpret your inner state a little bit. If you're very nervous and jittery, and the snake is going to pick up on that. But you see how she's sort of just fitting to my hand?
Yeah.
She's done a few things here. She's got her anchor. She's got her tail around these two fingers. And the next thing is she's flicking her tongue to scent what's going on. She's looking around, but she's not excited.
She doesn't mind sweat?
She doesn't mind sweat. My hands sweat quite a bit as well. And so I'm just going to place her in your hand, nice and easy. And what you want to do is let her sort of grab on. Now, what are you feeling right now? Let's just see what she does.
I feel a little bit tense.
That's okay. You can feel tense. Now, if you feel tense, the thing is, she's probably going to return to me because she probably knows I love her. And
I think she's right.
Yeah. And that's okay. Why don't we just let her do that? And then you can get a sense for how she moves. And I'm going to give her a little hole to crawl through like that. And so what they do is they have all these muscles running along their body, and you can feel that, right?
Such a beautiful animal, I do have to say.
Yeah. They're called ball pythons. They also call them royal pythons for that beautiful black and gold.
Can I touch it with my thumb?
You can. They don't love being pet. That's one thing about snakes. They don't. A lot of people, when they come around to suddenly loving snakes, they go, well, I want to pet it the way I want to pet a dog, and snakes will retract from that. So if you do it, touch her with your thumb, see how she moves away.
She moved away, yeah.
She moves away. She doesn't like that. So usually with snakes, my rule is you sort of have to be the tree.
Okay. And is she a baby?
Absolutely. This is quite small. And so in the jungle, on cold days, I'll find snakes like this and literally warm them up in my hands. I'll put them in here, and just, if you can just look at that, just look at how sweet she is. She'll just stay like that.
She likes that.
She likes that. She likes the warmth there. We are endotherms. They are ectotherms. Like all reptiles, they depend on their environment for their body temperature. And so on the cold days, see that? I moved my hand closer. She got a little spooked. She went back into the... Again, this is just a tiny baby. There's another one that is a similarly awesome example. This is her larger relative. Same species, right? So this is a small ball python, and this is a larger ball python. And notice that both of these, there's no risk, right? There's no danger here. It's not like I can't put these near my face. Again, both of these are sort of the golden retrievers of snakes. These are snakes that have been handled by responsible snake owners.
So will that small one grow into the big one, or are you saying they're the same sort of cousins?
Yeah. This is a larger ball python. This is a smaller ball python.
So this one will eventually be the size?
Absolutely. And this one could grow to be double that size, really. I've seen ball pythons be double that size. Now this one, slightly different game for holding. But see, like that. Look who's scared here.
Me.
Well, and him. And so, look at that. He's beautiful. So look, I'll just give you a sense of it. Look at the power in a python. You think pull-ups are hard. He's holding on with no legs, no claws, just strength. And he's just going to climb back up onto my arm. So what I'd like you to do is hold out your wrist. Yeah, you got this. Just straight across the table. Hold that right like that. Now remember, if he does bite...
What do you mean if he does bite?
I'm kidding. Just hold him up high enough that he's not touching the table, yeah? And then I'm just going to coax him up. He's okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're all right. You're all right. There we go. So he's just going to just feel that power as he moves, which he will eventually. But see, you can feel the power on this snake. It's a little bit more of a little bit more musculature.
They are stunning.
And see that? That's it. He's like, okay, cool. You're holding me here. They're pretty relaxed animals, so he'll go and eat a small prey item, go back into his burrow, and then digest for a week before going back out. And now if you want, you can take your other hand and put it under him to support him, and then he'll start to move over both of your hands. Why don't you try that? Put your other hand very gently right under his coil, right there. He got scared of that. That's okay. Or you could put a thumb through through the loop.
Could do, couldn't I?
Yeah, you could do that. You're loving all these suggestions. All right, now watch. Let's see what happens when we put him on the table, because I bet you anything he doesn't enjoy. You feel that power? You feel that little bit of power there?
Yeah.
Now, that's a snake this big. Wait till you see, like with an anaconda or something. Now, a table's sort of unfair. There's nothing for him to see this. He's gonna flop a little bit. They're not supposed to be on a table. So this is what I'll do. I'll be the ground. Because then, see, look, now he's pushing with all those little belly scales. See how he can cruise? That incredible snake locomotion. Now watch, if I take away his, look, he holds on. They don't want to, now he's got nothing to push off of. So he's gonna do the inchworm thing. But you get a sense of how snakes move. They need that. They need the ground. They need pebbles. They need rocks. Now catch him. Oh, come on, Mike, catch him. Now, no, seriously, not by the head. Start by the tail, just right here, just pick him up. And then once you pick him up, you can give him to me and then we can be done. But Stephen, you have to catch the snake.
Pick him up here.
Just pick him up.
He's not going to do anything.
Now, nice and slowly, too, because he's a friendly snake. You don't want to offend him.
He seems to be tense.
I mean, he is side-eyeing you right now.
That's what I mean. He seems to, like, I'm side-eyeing him, he's side-eyeing me.
But I'm telling you that this snake, all you got to do is just pick him up.
And then when I pick him up, what do I do?
Just pick him up and hand him to me. That's all you got to do. And then this is all over.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh my God.
Beautiful. Right up, 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 up. Amazing. Wonderful. Now I'm going to take him. All right, and then I have one more snake that I really need you to meet. Come here. Oh, no, you can't hold on to that. This is a different story. And this is sort of the closest thing that we're going to get to an anaconda. I think the easiest thing I could do here is just let her get around my neck.
What the fuck is my life?
So now, what you don't want snakes to do is to close that gap, right? You don't want them to wrap around your neck.
Could she kill you?
She could.
Then don't bring it over here.
Well, I thought you wanted to meet her too.
But what if she does something to me?
No. So this is a different type of snake. This is a Burmese python. And when you talk about large constrictors, those are small constrictors. They're the ball pythons. This is a larger constrictor. And Burmese pythons get to be big. These can go up to 18 feet long. And now what I think you're going to really appreciate is the power that these things have. When you feel that power, and now just don't move. Yeah. Now give her your hand. Take her with your hand. Good. Very good. Now hold this hand out. Good. Just like that. Now be the tree. Just be the tree. That's great. Yep. You want to come this way, girl. Come here.
Her tail is hot.
Yeah?
Why is the tip hot?
Maybe she likes you. Okay, now she's just going to move behind your head, and I just want you to feel the muscles of that snake.
What was that?
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Is she hissing?
She's breathing. That's just her breathing, because she's holding on. She's a ground snake. She's not really a tree snake. Now, Burmese pythons, they grow to be 18 feet long. They can take down deer. And so what you have right now is this beautiful granite Burmese python crawling on your shoulders, and you're doing great, by the way. You look very calm. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe.
And she can kill a deer.
No, she'll grow. She's still a baby. She's still small. She'll eventually be able to kill a deer. Now, I don't want her to. Now, here's the thing. I think she likes you. And so when I try to take her
The
back,
strength.
the strength, yeah?
She could like break my pinky finger off.
Yeah. So let's just see what we do. So we know a few things. We know that she's not going to hurt us. We know that she's not going to eat that banana. I know that she'd like to probably. Come on, you want to come up, girl? Yeah. See, I think they come to me. I think they know. You hear that? You hear that breathing? Have you ever done a podcast with a 10-foot snake across the table before?
No, this is my first.
This is amazing. It's such a joy to be here with a Burmese python there.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.